Your assignment this week asks you to explore the graphs of quadratic equations. So I wanted to give you a demonstration of how to use one of the graphing calculators that I recommend. This is there's a web version. This is Desmos.com calculator, or there's an app as well if you wanted to download it. My favorite version is the app because you can actually just tap and kind of drag around the graph to see different portions of it, and you can stretch the graph either sideways or up and down, so it's easy to zoom in on different portions of the graph. But here's the web-based version, so I'll demonstrate this for you. To begin graphing something, you just click over here on the left, and an on-screen keyboard will pop up, or you can type as well. So if you wanted to click to insert the equation, let's do one that's y equals 2x squared, and then here's the squared key, plus 3x minus 3. Okay, and then you'll see this pop up on the graph. On the left here, this color indicates which graph you're looking at, so you can graph multiple ones at the same time. And then you can either click and drag or tap and drag if you're on the app version, and you can see different portions of this parabola. If you wanted to zoom in, if you have a mouse that scrolls, you can do that. You can use your fingers to kind of stretch this out, or over here on the right there's a little wrench symbol, and you can adjust the settings or the window for the graph. So I can see like most of it side to side, at least along the x-axis, from like -3 to 1. So maybe I would just change the x-axis to those numbers, -3 and 1. Okay, so that widens it out. Maybe that's too wide, so maybe I want to go up to 3 instead. And then now I'm noticing maybe I'd like to see a little bit more vertically to this parabola. So I can see the very bottom of this down around -4. So I'm going to go maybe -5. And then maybe I want to go up to like 10 or something like that. Alright, and there it is. Other things you can do would be look for key points just by tapping on them. So one of the ones we're interested in is the vertex, and that's this lowest point. So if you just click somewhere on the green for this parabola, it's going to pop up with some of those key points, right? And you can either hover over those or on the app you tap, right? And here if I click, it actually leaves that point selected. So I can see that the vertex coordinates are -0.75 for x and then -4.125 for y. Other key points we're interested in would be the x-intercept, where this intercepts the x-axis. Okay, so here are those points. It intercepts it at -2.186. These are rounded numbers. These aren't exact, so it's just going to round to 3 decimal places. Okay, and then here we have another one at 0.686. The y-intercept is where the graph intersects the y-axis. All right, so that's down here at 0, -3. And there it is. Okay, you can zoom out, see a little bit more, and that's the gist. If I wanted to graph another one, I can like deselect this. All right, and you can turn that on and off to look at that one. Here I have 2 more that I've already typed in. Oh, I should mention too, when you're typing this x squared on your keyboard, you would do the x and then the little caret symbol, all right, which is usually above the 6, right? And then that'll bump this next 2 up to an exponent. Okay, so I've entered this in, and if I just click here, that shows up in red, and again I can see some of those key points. So here's the vertex, here's the y-intercept, and then notice this one doesn't have x-intercepts, so its lowest point is above the x-axis, so not all parabolas even have x-intercepts. And then here's another one. So here I've graphed it at the same time, and notice it's also popping up with some intersection points where the blue one intersects the red one. So if you didn't want to see those, we can turn off the red one and then just look at y equals -3x squared plus 4x plus 5. All right, so you click on the parabola, here's the vertex point, here's the y-intercept at 5, and then x-intercepts are at negative 0.786 and 2.12. All right, so that's about it. What I'm going to have you do for your assignment is just graph some of these different parabolas. I'll give you the equations in different formats. Maybe we'll do a couple in like vertex form, and then I'll just have you explore the graph. Give me some of those key points, like what the vertex is, the y-intercept, and the x-intercept, if there are any, and then we will look at the connections between those key points on the graph and then the numbers that you're seeing in the equation for A, B, C, H, K, etc.